Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Board YouTube channel for your Tuesday pick and roll live stream here for the March 4th NBA slate. We're going to break down the entire NBA slate and go through my co-host PipsNBA's free picks for the day before, as usual, finishing off by reacting to your bets and answering your questions for the day. So if you're ready to get started, please make sure you do hit that like button. Also, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. The show is on a 23-9 run of free picks. We're up on the season, but unfortunately, as we always do, we recap the previous show's bets. It was a 1-4 day overall. Had some hard luck in this one. It happens over the course of the season of betting, but we needed one more three on Malik Beasley. Ended up going under his 3.5 threes. That's not a hook, but what is a hook definitely is Bam Adebayo getting 19 points when we needed over 19.5. Missed a free throw, which would have cashed it. Miles Bridges was maybe the toughest one to take of the day because a couple questionable stats go his way, and he hooks us on his under 11.5 rebounds plus assists. JV losing the rebounds. That was Prop Bomb's official play as a guest yesterday. And Jonas Valanciunas does give us a positive hook. So 3 hooks in the same day. But the Bridges one in particular, as we bring in Pips to look at these as well. The Bridges one in particular was a bit tough to take because of some of the calls here. So we'll show these low quality so we don't get in trouble with YouTube. But here is one of the assists he got. So this is Bridges up here. Passes over to his teammate who takes 4 dribbles, loses the handle, and then gets a pretty awkward bounce before it goes in. So that one, questionable assist. Not sure they should have called that. But this one might be even worse. One of the rebounds that he got in the first quarter, block shot, which he caught for maybe half a second before it tipped out of bounds off of another player. I'm not sure if that should be classified as a rebound, both of which are questionable. But, you know, you only think about these sorts of things when you lose. Like if he were to have gone, if we had the over 11.5, we wouldn't have even looked at these replays. So over the course of the NBA season, it happens.
Yeah, I would say the assist one, one of the worst I ever seen. It's close to one of the worst I ever seen being called an assist. 4 dribbles, but the biggest part is 2 hezes, 4 dribbles, 2 hezes, and losing the dribble. Yeah, that's never an assist, but yeah. But the thing about the rebound, I've never seen that counted. Like never in the. I'm following NBA for so much time, and I did check a lot of these rebounds for throughout the years, and I never seen that counted. Like never. I've needed it so many times, and was furious that it didn't count. Even though when player like has the ball, jumps out and like he's in the air for 2 seconds with the ball, that's not counted. He didn't have the ball like for half a second in this scenario. So 2 on the same that got hooked. Also, by end of the third, Golden State Warriors shot 37% from the fields. Hornets had like 50 rebounds, so it was tough to stay under. So everything went against it. Bam Adebayo one left with 4 minutes left. Okay, blowout. It was a huge spread, so that's not unlucky part. That's just how it is. But he made like 4 dunks and 3 layups, and he shot 1 from 9 outside the restricted area. Like he couldn't make a bucket, which is terrible. But one of the worst we ever had on the show is actually Beasley.
Yeah, 3 of 14.
Yeah, by
It's the
doing
Beasley experience, I suppose.
yeah, by doing basic Bayesian theory, this had 89% chance to win when he takes 14. 89% of the time he makes 4 plus, and he actually missed 7 straight in the second half. Like he had 3 in the first half and then missed 7 straight in the second half. I went back to watch them. Most are just spot up wide open threes, which is insane. And if you remember back then, we also bet once Beasley, and he had like 3 from 15 game when we bet him, and every other game like 40%, 45% from 3. Crazy run out. Sorry guys, the run come to an end. All the bets were great in my opinion. I will bet them again. Just crazy run out, and it happens. We had some luck run outs. Now we had some poor ones. Even Jonas, like he had a hook positive, but it was a blowout, and the game was like -1.5 or -2 spread, ended up being a blowout. Terrible injury for Kyrie. It looked, yeah, terrible stuff. Like it hurts to even watch that stuff when, and he heroically came back to make free throws, even though like he was almost like crying
Yeah.
out of pain. So yeah, interesting one. Uh, I would say even the rebounds were on pace. If he had like additional 8 minutes in the fourth, but you can't cover rebounds in blowouts. That's very difficult
Yeah.
in limited minutes. Yeah.
So yeah, tough day overall, but as we go through the season, days like these are going to happen. You just hope you have more of the winning days. We certainly have had it, even with the 1-4 day, 23-9 run. So last 32, 23 wins. I mean, you could say last 33, also 23 wins. But it's been a good run of things for the show. We are up on the season big time, and we're looking to keep that going here today with this slate of picks. So without further ado, let's jump into that slate. Top of the board today is the Houston Rockets against the Indiana Pacers. Rockets are plus 3.5 on the road. Have had a little bit of struggles as of late. Maybe it was just, they're not far off the 2 seed. I said the same thing yesterday about this team, but away from home in a difficult matchup. How do you see this one going?
I think we are good for this one. I think we should win this one. We got rest last night. Everyone got rest. Now we have everyone probably playing. Amen is playing. Dylan Brooks is playing. Alperen Şengün is playing. Tyrese is playing. Jabari Smith is playing. Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet are questionable, but I think Fred VanVleet was just rested last night. No need to play against the Thunder when we were like 95% to lose the game. So I think we are in good spot here. Actually, like I think we should win this. I think we are covering. Uh, the Rockets losing streak was mostly health. Like we had 2 to 3 guys out all the time, even though we have a short rotation. And now with everyone back, I think we are underrated now. Plus 3.5 looks like a good thing to take. Uh, Betting wise, is it possible like that it moved like from the time we were watching the videos to now, which is
It's possible.
crazy stuff. Let me just check. Let's do Tyrese Halliburton under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
If there is minus 110, minus 120, I don't know. Can you check all the lines?
Yeah. So minus 110 is partially available. Minus 105, not super widely available. Minus 120, more widely available, is minus 106 as well at one of the sharper books out there. The wide range of prices here.
Yeah, it's moving all over the place, so it's tough to get like a consensus. But I
Yeah.
think it's minus 120 on
Yeah.
the 32 and a
Okay.
half.
Minus 120 we can play for sure.
Yeah,
Minus 120 under Tyrese for Tyrese Halliburton under 32.5 PRA.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the matchup is very difficult.
Just
For
sorry,
Tyrese.
we don't have your screen up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I'll share it. I have so many tabs, man. Like it's tough to navigate stuff. Always have 30 tabs open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's playing 30, just need to get used to using the MacBook. When he's playing 28 to 30 minutes this season, he averaged right there 31.9. Under in 60% of the games. But when we exclude some easy matchups like games against the Suns, against the Nets, against the Pelicans, yeah, so many easy matchups for him. When we exclude bottom 7 teams, we can see that he is under in the bottom 8 teams under even in more games, under in 20 out of 31, 64% of the games, and average 30.9 points, rebounds, and assists. First off, let's talk about the points. He's under this line in 22 out of 31 on 19.5 points, and And again against the Houston Rockets, he had 4 points earlier this season. Amen just put him in jail. He was 1 from 7 in 30 minutes. It was not even like first month of the season. Like it was after that when he kind of settled and had some good scoring games. Uh, he scored 53% of his points above the break three, seventh list there, and he's starting to create his own shot out of like isolation stuff, and we are going to switch guys like Eamon Thompson and Dylan Brooks on him. So good luck, like scoring in this matchup. On the assist side, he had 8 assists on 10 potentials, which is not something you expect. And when you look at the assist, I'll just go to separately, like through every stuff. On the season, he averaged 9 assists, but Houston Rockets allowed the least assist in the entire league. So when we look at the teams who allow below average assist, like top 10, he averaged 8.1 and is under in 9 out of 15. So assists are also like very difficult for him to get. When they exclude even like more teams against bottom top 8, top 9, he's averaging 7.7 assists. When we go even further, like it just gets better for an underside. So yeah, and when you look at the rebounds on the season, he averaged 3.5, and the Rockets allow also uh, below average rebounds as well. So we have some value in that because it changes from 28 and a half points and assists to 32 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. So it adds 4, while he averaged 3.5 and is in a difficult matchup. So that's why I prefer points, rebounds, and assists compared to the points and assists alone.
Okay,
So
there we go. Tyrese Halliburton under PRA to get us started for the day. -120 is what we'll take for the show. You should be able to get better in your region. You might be able to get better in your region, that is. So make sure you do shop around there. We'll go to the next game up. We have the Raptors against the Orlando Magic. Same matchup as we had on Sunday. Raptors away at Orlando. And currently same spread as the close of last game. Close 7. Today we have +7 for the Raptors again, despite winning that game on Sunday. And well, they nearly blew up, but they did end up winning that game marginally. And a relatively similar injury report. The only difference is no Grady Dick for the Raptors today. But are you in agreement with the spread here at 7?
Yeah, you guys are away, but as I said, you are a good team when you have all the big four healthy: Barnes, RJ, Quickly, and Jacob. You are kind of short-handed. It's big minutes to Jacoby Walter and Jamal Shed or Randall Robinson, which is horrible, absolutely horrible. But big four is there, so you guys are definitely gonna compete and could cover this. Um, yeah, you guys played a good defense last game. I watched for some instances you kind of limited Banchero well in the first 3 quarters, then he had big fourth. A bunch of free throws. I don't know how many free throws you guys. Franz Wagner 6.
There's so many fouls.
Banchero
The
50.
game took forever, dude.
Yeah, Banchero had 15 free throws alone. Did you guys send the doubles on Banchero because like he had 9 field goal attempts in the entire game?
Yeah, they did well to limit him. They put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, betting wise, tough. Both teams short-handed in huge minutes for their starters. I took earlier today quickly over 17.5 because I don't think books realize that Grady Dick is out. But he actually thrives in the matchups like Orlando Magic when they just let guy cook in the single coverage and don't double pick ball handlers. He had 24 on like below average efficiency, which is expected in a difficult matchup. Like they are physical, they clamp a lot, but he has some opportunities to score. And if you look at the last couple of games for him, he's over in 7 out of 9, averaging 20 points. Yeah, some guys were missing in some games, but that's really promising because the matchups were Rockets, Miami, and Orlando, which is on the difficult side. So yeah, the only one I kind of looked into this game was Emmanuel quickly over 17.5, but that's gone. So no bets in this one.
All right. Fair enough. Can't play that if it's moved. Before we go any further, a word from the presenting sponsor here, the FanDuel Sportsbook, because they've made the show possible this season. And it's a fantastic sportsbook to get involved with. And when the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning with America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/board to join today. That's FanDuel.com/board for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. And to make it a little bit easier, you can also go to the link that is in the description to sign up with FanDuel.com/board. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA, but must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. We'll keep moving through the slate here. 9 games total today. This is the third one we have up here. It is the Golden State Warriors playing against the New York Knicks at MSG. The Knicks favored by 4.5 for this game. And are in a little bit of a prove-it mode, I think, against teams of higher quality. And the way the Warriors have been playing lately, they are of higher quality. Knicks are 40-20 on the season, looking to keep things moving here. Any thoughts from you on how this game may go?
I need to check something. I have a checking the stuff for Steph. I need to see how many back-to-back games he played lately. He did play last back-to-back game. He played one before that. So he played last 2 back-to-back games because they played last night and he's on a back-to-back. He played last 2 games, so he should kind of be good to go. Then this spread, I mean, he's questionable, so that's why the spread is where it is. He also on the last 2 back-to-back games scored 37 and 27, went over this line. Yeah, I kind of think Steph could cover this in this game. If you take a look at the games with Butler, if you exclude a huge blowout, we can see that he is over in 5 out of 8, averaging 31.4. So yeah, no bets on this one, but yeah, Steph scores most of his points as a ball handler, and they allow the most. So, and it's rough to have Towns going with the level on the screen. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no bets in this one. Yeah, don't like
Next game here, we have the Milwaukee Bucks -7 on the road against the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks are just kind of treading water in the very bad Eastern Conference, still the 9 seed and pretty locked in there, but could definitely move up with some wins. It's pretty crazy how bad the East is. The Hawks are still kind of in competition for the 7 or 8 spot in the East, but that's where they are. The Bucks, on the other hand, playing a lot better in these latter stages of the season. They're 34-25. They've won a couple games in a row, and probably should be able to win this one as well.
Yeah, I think Bucks should cover this, especially on the Hawks being on back-to-back and playing close game against the Memphis last night and winning. Yeah, that's it on this game. We'll probably look into betting. Just a second, I fucked up something. Just a second. I fucked up something. I would look into betting probably Giannis over if I didn't think there is a huge blowout chance in this one. Like back to back for Hawks who are short-handed is not something promising. Yeah. they did had always like success against the Bucks, like to compete. Like let me just check this season. They played 3 games, won one, lost one, won 2 out of 3 games against the Bucks this season.
But they
Yeah,
also played. Oh no, one of those games includes the in-season tournament. Does it?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, they lost by 8, and it was a close game. By like
Yeah,
one
it was a
possession
good
came
game.
up too late. Yeah, and then the next one they win without Jalen Johnson. So uh, they are the worst team now, and of course, but yeah, yeah, that's it. We can move to the next one.
And that next game is the Cleveland Cavaliers minus 12.5 against the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. Chicago still in that 10 spot in the Eastern Conference and may have no choice but to stay there given the state of the conference. So we may see the Bulls in the play-in tournament, but they're not very good. They're not very good. The Cavaliers, very good. They are on a big win streak of at least 10 games. I think it is 10 games. 10-game win streak. Last week they had that big comeback win against the Boston Celtics, but coming off an OT win against the Blazers. Yeah, the Cavaliers are absolutely rolling at the moment, and there's no sign of that stopping here today.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, I won't bet anything in this game. Uh, that's it. Mobley is out for the Cleveland. Kind of huge for their defense, but other than that, they should absolutely smash Bulls here. So yeah, also not a game to bet an under. Only if you rely on the blowout, and I hate those spots.
Fair enough. Next game, Sixers. Speaking of teams in trouble, Sixers plus 14 away at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ugly, ugly season. I think Sixers is waiting for this to end. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, are very much jostling for position in the West and could use a victory like this right here. I know you avoided that previous big spread, but is there opportunity in this game?
I think 76ers should look to shut down Maxi for the season. Makes
Yeah,
absolutely no sense that he's playing with some issues on with the hand and trying to shoot with 3 fingers. Stuff like that's stupid. Like the season is
yeah.
lost, and then you are trying to hurt your, like they have no chance of doing anything, and now you're playing your young future of the franchise injured. Like that's just nonsense, complete nonsense, and you should just they can't tank though. Like they don't own their pick. I think.
Well, it's top 6 protected, so they can tank and give themselves a shot at keeping that pick at least. But
Yeah, that's
there's
great.
I don't at this point I don't see any other option. Like they can force out as many wins as possible, maybe get to the 10 seed, and then awesome. Like you win, you have to win 2 games in a row from there. And then awesome. Now you play the Cavaliers in the first round and you're gonna get rolled in 4, maybe I was thinking maybe 5, but probably 4 games.
Yeah, and
So
tough, man.
there's nothing really they can do with their situation. So yeah, I agree. They may as well just shut down Maxi in that
Yeah,
case.
makes no sense. There are no lines for Maxi. I think he's going to sit. I actually feel god awful for not betting Maxi under. Like I knew the information that he has injuries problems, and I knew he's going to get Kamara at the matchup.
Yeah.
The watching the game against the Knicks kind of fucked me up. When we had the over, and then the news came that he has problem with hand, and then him still covering and shooting like 35 times was like okay, this the line is 28 and a half, but he'll shoot 35 times. Like he will get over by pure volume, but Portland didn't even give him any chance in this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'd be curious to see if you could pull up his Maxi's like recent run of games point wise. I want to see how.
There is no lines for him, so
No,
I
I know.
don't.
I'm just curious to see on Props Madness the fluctuation in the points he scored lately.
Yeah, but as I said, like there's no line, so I can't pull it up. We have only lines for the game. Like you can see it on the left side. Like these are only
Oh,
players with.
so Maxi isn't even listed.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he's
understood.
not even listening. He's doubtful to play tonight.
Okay, I
But
understand.
yeah, so but I was just say like last 4 games, he had. You can remember that game against the Raptors where he scored 5 points in 35 minutes.
Yeah,
He
of
didn't
course.
even try to shoot. Yeah, then he scored 30 against the Knicks on 32 shots. Then 2 out of 14 against the Golden State.
Yeah,
2 out of 13
that's what I'm
against
saying. Like
Portland.
the stats are probably like this for him. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, last 2 games, he scored 10 points in combined of 65 minutes.
Right.
4 from 25. So yeah, he's hurt. Like there is no. And against the Knicks, he shot 0 from 10 from three. So like it's so obvious. Like he can't shoot now. Post All Star, he's shooting 8 from 36 from three, like 20%. Like he's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They should shut him down. I completely agree there. Next up, we've got the Nets +4 away at the Spurs. The Spurs, obviously, kind of a lost season at this point. They did get De'Aaron Fox, but losing Victor Wembanyama completely altered their season. They're 25-34 on the year, 13th in the West. They're not going to make the playoffs. I imagine some tanking measures may be put into place at some point to make that draft pick even better. The Brooklyn Nets have tried to tank. They've done an okay job at it, but they seem to be winning a little bit more than they could be doing. Anyways, a difficult one to call with the personnel and everything, but is there anything you like for this game here?
The spread, I do think the Nets should cover this. D'Angelo Russell is back. Cam Thomas is playing. Cam Johnson is playing. Claxton is playing. So even on paper, they kind of look a team that can compete. Like it's not like Spurs have a good team outside of. Uh, it's Chris Paul, Fox, Vassell, Barnes, Biombo at the five, Castle, Sohan, Keldon from the bench. Like they are decent, but it's not some of this. They struggled against the Pelicans. That's all I have to say in this one. So I do think the coaching is on the side of the Nets in this one. Betting wise, I didn't even look at all the numbers for this one. Honestly, like I did kind of make sense for Devin Vassell, 15.5 for over, but I don't know. He's playing so rough lately. Like when you look at the last 10 games for Vassell, it's like graveyard. Like some 20
Wow.
plus, some 7, 8, 6, 5 games. Rough. That's the
Yeah.
only way to explain it. So first thing to bet is on inconsistent players. And scoring 13 points against the Suns and 7 against the Wizards. 5 against Pelicans. Those are one of the worst teams in the league. And the next game, 20 against the Pelicans. So, not touching this one, moving to the next.
Moving to the next, we have the Clippers -2 away at the Suns, who are desperate for wins, just cannot find any. This team is a mess. The Clippers, definitely not a mess. They're a solid team, 32-28, still jostling for that assured playoff spot in the Western Conference. Feels like one the Clippers would expect to win. What do you think?
Yeah, I think -2 and is fair considering there is no Powell. Yeah, he's been huge for them this season. I do have a bet in this one. It's on Kawhi Leonard over 23.5 points.
Okay, Kawhi over on points is where we're going for the second play of the day. -125, -120s available here. I think it's
Yeah,
-125 on FanDuel.
yeah,
And
-125 on FanDuel, and there are a couple of spots with -120, kind of widely available. -115 there. Overall, very playable, widely available line.
yeah,
Uh,
so we can
like
find.
like everything in the range from -115 to -125.
Yeah, so we can play -120 here.
Yeah. Lately, he's been out of minutes restriction, as we can see. Last game against the Lakers. That's why I'm betting this. Look, I went back and look, I watched the entire game and I closely had an eye on Kawhi Leonard. He ended up game playing 40 minutes, season high, scoring 33 points, season high, taking 23 field goal attempts, season high. Uh, they went through him on every possession almost, and the Suns are like probably at this point of the season the best matchup you can play. I will argue that even Wizards are the more difficult matchup defensively than the Suns. I think they are the worst defense
It's
in the league.
possible.
Far they are starting Beal, Booker, KD, and Ball and Richards. Worst defensive starting five in the league by far. Like I don't think anyone competes. Even guys like Wizards have like at least Bilal Koulibaly uh, and some other terrible teams still have some positive defensive players. They don't have any. So that's where I'm coming from. Also, they allow so many jumpers. Like they allow a ton of mid-range shots, where he scores like 40% of his points. They allow a ton of above the break threes, 30% of his points. They are bottom five in transition defense and pick and roll ball handler defense. That's where he scores most of his points. Uh, Looking at the data, I love to look like in data and extrapolate a bit. Last 5 games, he averaged 28% usage. On the season, he averaged 28% usage. Against the Lakers last game, he had 30% usage. Against the Bucks and the Memphis, 28 and 33. So he's that kind of range. So I just go back to the last season. He's not looking healthy like he was the last season. Last season, when we take a look at the games where he had 24 higher percent usage, as he had in 5 games in a row, even 30% in the last game, looking at 24% usage in the games where he played over 30 minutes. Uh, we can see that he, with that kind of volume, with those minutes, he was over this line in 25 out of 31 games and had 27.6 percent average. If we exclude the teams who play good defense, like below average teams of defense, it starts even being even better. If you look at the bottom 10 teams, he's over in 10 out of 11, averaging 29.6. And we can see that this season, overall in the season, the Suns are fourth worst defense. But if you look at the last, like since the trade over the last month and a half, they are the worst team in defensive rating. They just can't get stopped. There's no one to stop Kawhi, and they do tend not to double. I rewatched the game they played earlier this season. Kawhi scored 17 points on minutes restriction while not being that like 1 from 5 from 3. And I watched the game at that point over a month ago. He still didn't look like he had some rust, and he was like taking turns, taking his spots. But yeah, I realized the game against the Lakers last night. He was just going at it, and we can see that from 23 field goal attempts and 5 free throws, huge volume, huge minutes again. So yeah, and also tendency for Mike Budenholzer to just allow guy isolate and shoot mid ranges, and that's where Kawhi tries.
Looking for the victory here on Kawhi Leonard for our second play of the day, minus 120 over on points. But you could probably find better in your region if you can. Shop around, as always, for all of the plays. We are now moving to the last game of the slate here. Then we can go to some of your questions. The Lakers flying high lately. It's unbelievable. They have put together quite a good defense despite having limited quality defensive pieces. They have some good defenders, but you would not expect this to be a good defensive team. It is right now. They've won 6 games in a row. They are second in the Western Conference. Funnily enough, they are closer to the 10 seed Mavericks than they are to the 1 seed Thunder, despite being in second. But hey, they are in second at the moment and looking to keep that going and should do against the Pelicans tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree on this one. I don't know, the spread seems too low. Maybe because Luka is questionable. Yeah, probably because Luka is questionable. Austin Reeves is also questionable. LeBron James is probable. We probably need to have a bet in this one. Just need to figure out who I'm going to bet on. Like there are so many players that makes sense to bet on in this one. Uh, my my choice could probably be between. I need to decide. I'll do it on the stream. I need to decide between Jackson Hayes over and Dorian Finney-Smith over. They are going to send a ton of doubles on Luca and on LeBron and everyone. So the guys who will profit are the guys who play off the ball. Uh, yeah. So looking at just Jackson Hayes, he had tough matchups lately. Like two against the Clippers, one of the most difficult ones in the league. Covered against the Wolves, against the Jazz, against the Portland. For very weird game against the Lakers. Uh, but then again, Dorian Finney-Smith is starting in spot of in the spot of Rui Hachimura. And last game he played big 37 minutes. If you look at the games when he is playing 28 plus minutes, he kind of crushed this line. And when he played against teams who are not good on defense, like Pelicans, probably next next second worst team in the defense over the last I don't know how many games. But if you look at him against below average teams on defense, he is over this line 12 out of 17, averaging 11 points. So yeah, kind of similar players over in 51% of the game. Royce O'Neal, Harrison Barnes, Hauser. Yeah, I need to bet this one. Like it looks absolutely perfect. Like I never seen, not never, but it's rare to see such a great matchup. When you look at his scoring ways, it's putback, transition, and spot up. They are ranked 27, 27, and 29 in his three most dominant ways of scoring. He scored most of his points from corners and above the break three. They are ranked dead last and eighth worst, and he scores 25 at the rim. They are ranked second worst, and the single player scored 50% more points against the Pelicans and covered in 8 out of 10 games. Like, you can get almost better than this. And when you look at the minutes and performance against the teams, he is covering this in 70% of the games. They will double Luka, they will double LeBron, so it will open up more space for him. Like, wherever you look, you see the green in this one. And so we are going to bet Dorian Finney-Smith over 8.5 points.
Okay, Dorian Finney-Smith over 8.5 points. There's minus 115s, but there's minus 112. Best in market that I see available at FanDuel. So we'll play this one on FanDuel. It's not the only minus 112 out there, but again, there's minus 115, which is also fine to take here on DFS. And we did get a winner on DFS last time we played him. So hopefully we get the same here today. I'm just going to update the graphic, and I'll just get this out in the chat for anybody. But if that's it for this, is that it for this game? I know you said you had a few guys you were looking at.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
All right, so Dorian Finney-Smith over 8.5 points, minus 112 is where we will finish off for the free picks from the show. But we will transition now to the chat. Answer your questions for the day, react to your bets for the day, as we always do. We'll start off here with CR, who had Brooke Lopez over 13.5 points at minus 125.
Uh, yeah, I do think no Kuzma, no Portis, Middleton traded. Yeah, I think he should be in this good spot to score. Let me just check how he performed against the Hawks this season. 16 and 16 last two games. Yeah, makes sense. Like I can't find any reason uh, not to like this stuff. Even the form lately, like he's over in 8 out 12, averaging 15 points. Didn't cover in a blowout. Didn't cover against the Rockets. 1 for 6 from three. Wolves. Kind of weird matchup. But overall, like, yeah, lean over.
Okay, lean towards the over in agreement with that play. Next question. Turk Blaz asked about Eves Missy over 16.5 PRA at minus 116.
Yeah, I don't like this one. Think they are more inclined to go small. So there's no need to play Missy. think he could actually be a negative player on the court in this one for the Pelicans. So yeah.
The next one, Bear Commander Go Bears ask about Josh Giddey under 33 and a half, or under 33. I'm going to guess 33 and a half PRA at minus 104, and Zach Collins under 22 and a half PRA minus 125.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like he did have some crazy run out last couple of games. Uh, against the this is absolutely amazing. Against this is last 4 games when he played for the Bulls without Vucevic. He had 6 rebounds and assists against the 76ers. Next game against the Clippers, he had 24 rebounds and assists. He ended up the game with 45 points, rebounds, and assists against one of the toughest matchups. So,
I was under that game and he destroyed
yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely insane. Then he covered against the Raptors. Also insane game on the rebounds and assists. Points wise, he also covered in all 4 games. Like I don't know, they are so garbage that he could play massive minutes and had massive usage because like their best player is probably like Kobe White, second best Josh Giddey. When you have Josh Giddey as your second best player, you are absolute garbage. So yeah.
Yeah, I would concur there. We could go next one up. Good friend Chillionaire always likes these adjusted lines. Wants the 25 plus on Cam Thomas at plus 260.
I think he's on minutes restrictions still, so I don't know. Tough one. He's kind
Okay.
of limited, so like, how can you score? It's possible to score 25 in 25 minutes, but not likely. So, yeah.
Gabriel asked about Jalen Brunson over 34 and a half points plus assists at minus 108.
I don't like ball dominant scorers against the good pick and roll defense, and they are like one of the best against ball handlers. That's just staying away.
And we have Scotty Barnes under 23 and a half points plus assists minus 115.
Matchup terrible, line too low. Like it's very well adjusted. Like this
Yeah.
line would be if he was not playing Magic, this would be 26 and a half probably. So it's correct line in my opinion.
Yep. We have how many more? 5 more player prop questions, then 2 general questions. Gabriel also asked about De'Aaron Fox under 34 and a half PRA.
Probably like the under points, not so much on assist because it's correlated, negative correlation in this spot. Like if he gets doubled as he will against the Nets, then he will pass more and have more assist opportunity. So it kind of works one against another in this points, rebounds, and assist spot. So it's either points under or assist over. In this spot, I'll probably go like you can do like my under points and over assist on the same game parlay stuff if you think guys get doubled, and then you get a great price. So if they do that as do that kind of defense, you will be all right.
Okay. How about Kevin Durant over 29 and a half PRA minus 110?
It's single coverage against Kawhi Leonard, or if it's not against Kawhi Leonard, they send 2 every single time. Like they don't want any business from KD on the Clippers side. So he struggled all 3 games against them this season. Even though 23 and a half is what the fuck is that line? Like like when these cappers post on Twitter and say, "What the fuck is that line?" This is like that spot. Like, how is it 29 and a half? It's 34 and a half. Did he meant maybe like points and rebounds?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Let's assume that was the thing. Like when he's playing between 30 and 40 minutes,
Well,
he averaged 33. So
neither of the points or rebound lines they're both 28 and a half. So I don't know what this is asking actually.
Yeah, this is weird. But against the
Points and rebounds is the clarification in chat. However, 28 and a half is available for this. Anyways.
Yeah, So he struggled 3 games against the Clippers. He had 32, 23, 28. They they held him below 28% usage below 30% usage in all of these games. So he couldn't do that much. So yeah, I don't like it. When they send doubles, I don't bet overs.
Three more player prop questions. We'll have a couple from the Pelicans game. First of all, Zion 10 plus assists at plus 1300.
Great bet. Yeah, I can't say much on this. They have no rim protection, so they will collapse on Zion. That's all I can say
All
about
right.
it.
If you're going to take a big pop, maybe this is a good spot for it. We've Jordan Hawkins over 11.5 points plus rebounds at minus 125.
If they are collapsing on Zion, he's making assists to Hawkins, so you can maybe play some second part there. Overall, I have no opinion on the Hawkins over 11.5 points and rebounds. It makes sense for shooters to this be a good matchup. That's it.
And last player prop question. AJ Walker asked about Zaire Williams minus 122 for over 13.5 points plus rebounds against the Nets.
Yeah, this one is popular on the win rate stuff. Like you can look at the win rate; it's absolutely amazing. When he's playing 22 plus minutes, he's already lining a lot. You have to have in mind that all of these games came, not all, but most came without Cam Thomas, without D'Angelo Russell, or without Cam Johnson. Now all of them are playing. I'll just check what's the minutes for him. I mean, this could still be a good bet because in the games with Cameron Johnson and Cam Thomas, he covered this and averaged even higher usage than in games without them, which is kind of crazy. Like 22.4% usage in those games, while he averaged 17%, 19, 18% of the season. And the matchup is great. So maybe there is something to this bet. Let's just check rebounds. Last game against the Pistons, he played 26 minutes in a blowout. Then he played 29, 34, 30, 30. So it's weird. When he plays 22 plus minutes, he averaged 5.8 rebounds. So maybe there is something to this. Looking at the points and rebound, like let's look like crazy. Like this is 22 to 32 minutes, which is expected for him to get, and matchup is absolutely amazing. So when we look at the games that he didn't play like the best defense in the league, he's over this line in 20 out of 23 games, averaging 70.3 points. I don't know if they maybe they got his minutes wrong. Uh, Everyone is healthy besides Noah Clowney. Maybe they still want to play him 28 minutes, but they could move him to the bench honestly and start who they don't have anyone even to start over him. Like they have Kim Johnson, he's not starting with DLO and Cam. Tyrese Martin probably no chance. Jalen Wilson also. Sharp is a 5. Maybe they do start there. I don't know. Maybe if they do start him, this could actually be a good find because looking at the numbers, I don't see his usage changing with the big players playing. And he started like 10 games in a row. Yeah. I'll also check something on the spot. Sorry for this maybe taking a bit long. I
No,
want to
it's
say
fine.
to check usage on the Nets when he's sharing the court with big guys, like when he's sharing the court with Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas. Zaire Williams usage when he share actually goes up. His 12 field goals per 36 goes up to 14 per 36. Usage goes from 18 to 21% when he's sharing the court with Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas. That's really weird. Seems like maybe there is like some sample size, like that's an outlier. But if he remains with the same usage and he'll play the same minutes, this could be a good bet. Let me just see if did he play Spurs? He didn't. Maybe then he's playing less minutes that he didn't. Is not covering. This is weird. Maybe if there are like FanDuel is the best price on this, right?
I'm not sure. Let me see. Points as rebounds. Yeah, it is.
Let's bet this.
All right. Let's bet this. You took your time, but you like it. You like it. You've looked it over. Minus 122. This is official bet.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
Looking maybe at maybe like the points are that are maybe points are a lot better. Like when he is not shooting like 25% or worse, he's already signed 84% of the games, which is even crazier. But yeah, overall, yeah, I don't know. Did it just released over on the points and rebounds, or did we go with points? Just trying to figure that stuff out. We'll go with the points and rebounds. So yeah.
All right. Points plus rebounds over 13.5 for Zaire Williamson is going to be official play. Minus 22. Shout out to AJ Walker for providing that in the chat. It's now featured on the show. So hopefully we can snag ourselves an extra win. And that makes it 4 official picks on the show for today in the end. You thought it was going to be 3, but it pays to stick around sometimes until the end of the stream. Well, hopefully it pays. Hopefully it does end up winning for us as well. And you're banned. You're banned, AJ. Sorry, man.
Yeah. You can't watch anymore. Like
You're
if
banned.
you join, we'll shut down.
Some general questions here. Turkblaz asked about OKC's defense. What is going on with it? Because despite the fact they're winning games, they're giving up a lot of points. I'll just read out some of the recent games. Gave up 128 to the Rockets in a win. Gave up 132 to the Spurs, also win. 119 to the Hawks in a win. 121 to the Nets in a win. 131 in an overtime loss to the Timberwolves. 123 points in a win over the Timberwolves. Like, they've just been giving up a ton of points lately. Is it just pace? They're just because they're winning these games, they're scoring more points than most of them. Is it just pace? That's something.
Probably some part of the bit is pace, but I will check out the defensive rating over the last 8 probably to see, like, because it's adjusted for the pace. And the Thunder have 8 worst defensive rating over the last 8. Looking at the pace, they have third highest pace, which when you correlate the poor defense with high pace, it ends up with 120 plus for every opposing team. But I will say it's difficult to navigate playing 2 bigs, and the opposing teams are shooting the lights out from behind 3-point line against the Thunder. Like, they just can't miss over the last couple of games, and that's the reason. Like, a bit unlucky from 3-point line. Also, teams are realizing like that's the way to beat them. Them playing higher pace, and it's more difficult to cover the ground, especially in the way they are playing defense, like very aggressively. So they leave up open opposing shooters. So, but I think they will settle down for something better.
So some insight there on the Thunder. Last question. We get this one semi-frequently, just conversations around live betting, if it's more valuable than pregame bets. For instance, from Drosko yesterday, Draymond Green, his line was over 10.5 points. On halftime, he had 7 because he was totally ignored when the Warriors were playing on offense. So I'll say this. I say this when I talk about live betting. I'll let Pips answer afterwards. There's a lot going on during the NBA games. A lot of the lines for live betting are set with an algorithm So you need to try and find something that an algorithm would not account for. So for instance, Draymond Green getting completely ignored is something an algorithm would not account for. In an outdoor, like different sport, like a soccer game. I remember I was at a local soccer game and it was so windy in one direction that if you're attacking that direction, you had such an advantage in the game. But a sports book that is not focused on an MLS game was unaware of this. So at halftime, you were able to make a bet on the team to come back in the second half because they had the win. So things like that. So for NBA matchups, if a guy's getting doubled, if a guy is getting single coverage when you thought he'd get doubled, maybe the lines were set as if he'd get doubled, things like that. Something that an algorithm would not account for is what you should look for. So there is value in betting live 100%. What do you think, Pips?
Yeah, if I look at my returns on live betting, it will be out of the world. But the problem is volume. You can watch only as many games and find as many of these bets. And then books are not that afraid because you can beat them by huge volume by watching the games. Uh, so they're not afraid of it. But yeah, it's algorithm. Like I remember, I won so many live bets this season, but one of the that's glued to my head is like Zion started. I think I even mentioned this before. Zion started the game first 8 minutes in the first quarter, 0.0 from 5. They pulled the line from 23.5 to 14.5. I waited for him to show up on the scoring tables to come back in. At the time, it was 14.5, and he was getting like additional 24 minutes for the rest of the game. Nailed over. He started making shots and covered this easily. Sometimes, like I think Don Davion Mitchell against the Thunder lately, they just didn't care about him. Like they didn't even look at him on defense. Like they just let him wide open the entire game. The line was 6.5. He was playing 30 plus minutes. He started. Someone was out. Easy bet. Like even if he is a terrible player, he should make like 3 open shots when he's left wide open the entire game. And some of those additions. Last one, Bulls and Maxi. Maxi played the Bulls. He had 24 points at the halftime. Killed them. They did single coverage and drop. Second half starts, first possession of the game. They sent 3 to the ball on him. Not 2, but 3. Everyone to just stop Maxi. The live line was, I think, 38.5. I bet under easy. He ended up with like 31, 32. Couldn't do much against the double. So yeah, those are the things to look for sure. Huge edges.
There you go. So some insight into live betting. Yes, absolutely can be profitable if you're locked in on the game. Maybe you have a favorite team that you're always watching anyways. That's a great chance for you to find some live betting opportunities. That'll do it for the show. 4 official picks in the end for today's slate. Let's try and have a good day here today. It's been a good run for the show despite the 1-4 day yesterday. Let's hope for another good day here today. So we have Tyrese Halliburton under 32.5 PRA, which we took for -120. We have Kawhi Leonard over 23.5 points for -120 as well. Then we have Dorian Finney-Smith over 8.5 points, which we played -112 at FanDuel. Then finally, Zaire Williams over 13.5 points plus rebounds added late for -122, also available at FanDuel, the presenting sponsor here on the Board YouTube channel. If anybody is curious, the hook counter for the season is 13-14, by the way. So we added 3 to these yesterday. Crazy day. Let's hope to get it back in our favor today, and we will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place for more from Pick and Roll. Drop a like before you go, and make sure you are subscribed.